This meeting of the Oak Park City Council is called to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Deputy City Clerk Joe Lynn Williams, would you call the roll?
Mayor McClellan,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns,
Here.
Councilmember Ratner,
Here.
Councilmember Edgar,
Here.
Councilmember Whitehead.
Here.
We have quorum.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
So moved.
Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Consent agenda. These items are routine items presented for City Council approval without discussion as one item. Any council member can ask to have an item considered separately. A, regular City Council meeting minutes for September 3rd, 2024. Special council meeting minutes for the same date. Approval of pay application number 5 for the 2024 water main replacement project M764 in the amount of $268,433.32. D, maintenance agreement with the Road Commission for Oakland County for the 2024-25 winter maintenance on county roads. An annual agreement. Payment of invoices from OHM Advisors for the GIS app development for the total amount of $1,755.75. And finally, new and renewal licenses for September 16th, 2024. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Visiting elected officials. Should that be, should we wait for that?
Yeah, we do.
We've got one who's going to be doing the next item though, right?
But if she wants to speak.
No, we're good? Okay. Item 7 on the agenda is special recognition presentations. And first is tribute to Kathleen Pallador. And first we'll hear from City Manager Eric Tungate.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of council, and members of the public. If we have any members of the Pallador family here, could you please join me in the front? Up here, please.
So, first it would sound like something, but that, it's a city council meeting, they recognize that they didn't want the kids making noise. So, right now, absolutely, of course. Sorry about that.
The more the merrier.
Oh, absolutely.
Inject some youthful energy into this place.
You good? Good. She's here. Good to see you.
Yeah. More coming. We want everybody. Everybody. Hi. Come on up. Hello, welcome. We are so delighted to have you and the whole family. We like everybody coming, everybody.
Well, family members, thank you so much.
Come on up and face
Come on
the
up, and
the
face the audience, and we'll get you.
There you go.
In a moment, we'll get a shot with everybody in it. In a moment, I would actually like to read a tribute from the City of Oak Park. For those of you that don't know who I am, I'm a city manager, Eric Tungate. And Kathleen worked for us in our elections division for many years. And this tribute from the City of Oak Park
No, he's good.
is presented in remembrance and celebration of Kathleen Polidor. Kathleen served her community as a dedicated election inspector. She made significant contributions to the democratic process and as an engaged community leader. She took pride as a precinct chairperson for several years and interacted with countless Oak Park voters. Her efforts demonstrated the wonderful community spirit found in the City of Oak Park, and she will be greatly missed. The City of Oak Park extends its heartfelt gratitude to your family. The positive impacts that Kathleen has had on this entire community are many and are sincerely appreciated. And this is signed by Mayor Marion McClellan, today's date. On behalf of all of us here at the city, I would like to say thank you so much for allowing us the opportunity to have her for the time that we did. It's a tremendous loss of such a great person, and we so much appreciate it. And with that, I would like to take this opportunity to introduce one of our state representatives, Natalie Price, who will be reading a state tribute.
Thank you, Mr. Tungate, and thank you so much for joining us on this occasion to honor the memory of your family member. So this is a special tribute from the state of Michigan. I am one of 3 state representatives from Oak Park. Regina Weiss and Jason Hoskins wish they could be here as well, but they have also signed this. And then your state senator, Mallory McMurrow, also signed this and wanted to share these thoughts with you. Let it be known, it is with great admiration and reverence that we celebrate the life of missionary Kathleen Polidor, a remarkable woman who committed her life to the service of her community and her church. Her unyielding devotion to her faith, her family, and her career has left a memorable impact on all who had the honor of knowing her. This recognition stands as a testament to missionary Polidor's lifelong commitment to the welfare of others, notably the underserved and vulnerable kids she supported throughout her profession. From her early days as a social work technician at the Children's Hospital of Michigan to her job as a supervisor and trainer in the field, missionary Polidor always exhibited kindness, virtue, and leadership. Her unwavering work in child abuse prevention, therapy, and healthcare case management favorably affected numerous lives. Missionary Polidor was equally dedicated to her spiritual community, where she maintained multiple leadership positions at the local, district, and judicial ranks. Her role as president of the Missionary Circle, her engagement in the Women's Department, and her service as jurisdictional president of Prayer and Bible Band, among many more, attest to her faith and devotion to circulating the love of God. In addition to her career and spiritual achievements, missionary Polidor was a loving mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother who shared her deep love generously with her family and everyone around her. Her legacy of faith, service, and love will continue to uplift future generations. In special tribute, therefore, this document is signed and dedicated to honor the life of missionary Kathleen Polidor. We convey our most profound gratitude for her lasting contributions to her community, her family, and her church, and we offer our sincere condolences to her family. May her memory continue to act as a guiding light of love, faith, and service.
Beautiful. We should always-
Family members
Instead of coming
and council
down,
members,
I
if you
think
could
we'll
come on down.
Should we stand up
Maybe
here
that's
like we do
that-
with,
Yes, you've done this before.
we've done this before. Thank
But we'd
you.
like to take some photos if we could.
And all young members are very welcome regardless. We've all been there.
Are we staying up here or coming down?
No, I think we're standing up here because it's like what we do with the policemen when there's a bunch of them.
squeeze in.
Yay.
All right, everybody, sit right here. We're gonna take a few shots here. Good smile. Everybody, good smiles. Here we go.
He's just complaining because he got his tax bill.
Palador family, thank you so much, and I'm so sorry for your loss. Thank you.
Thank you. Come again. We have another proclamation, and we have someone here to receive it. I will read it first, and then we'll come up and get pictures, if that's okay. We have Kathy Compton. This is City of Oak Park, Oak Park City Council proclamation for Constitution Week 2024. Whereas September 17th, 2024 marks the 237th anniversary of the drafting of our Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention, and whereas the United States Constitution established the rule of law and the power as well as the limits of government, while enabling us to choose those who will govern us, and whereas it also implies the responsibility of its citizens to understand it and to support it, and whereas it is the oldest written instrument of democratic rule in the world still in use, inspiring many to come here and contribute to the nation that created it, and whereas it is fitting and proper to accord official recognition to this seminal document and its memorable anniversary, and to the patriotic celebrations which will commemorate the occasion. And whereas Public Law 915 guarantees the issuing of proclamation each year by the President of the United States of America, designating September 17th through 23rd as Constitution Week. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Marion McClellan, Mayor of the City of Oak Park, Michigan, on behalf of the Oak Park City Council, do hereby proclaim September 17th to 23rd as Constitution Week, and ask our residents to reaffirm the ideals of the framers of the Constitution had in 1787 by vigilantly protecting the freedoms guaranteed to us through this guardian of our liberties, remembering that lost rights may never be regained. In testimony whereof I have signed my name officially and caused the seal of the City of Oak Park, Michigan, to be affixed the 16th day of September 2024. Marion McClellan, Mayor. And we have Kathy Compton of the Daughters of the American Revolution. Would you like to say a few words?
Thank you, Mayor McClellan and City Council members. I'm a member of the board of the Parker chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution.
Make sure that the green light is on. Press the little button. Introduce yourself again. One more.
I'm Kathy Compton, board member of the Ezra Parker chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution. More than 1 million women have joined the DAR since its founding in 1890. Today, nearly 200,000 members advance our missions of education, historic preservation, and patriotism. Last year, members around the world gave 7 million volunteer hours in service to our communities. The DAR has promoted Constitution Week since President Dwight Eisenhower signed it into law in 1956. We thank the City of Oak Park for your support. Right now, there may be a woman watching this who knows that her ancestors supported the cause for independence. We encourage her to visit dar.org to learn how she might join us. Thank you.
Thank you. And can we make it down? Yeah, okay. Okay, we are down to number 8 on the agenda. Request for special event license submitted by Mark Odom for the Vernon Street Block Party to be held September 22nd, 2024, from 1 o'clock to 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Is there a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Accounting reports, number 9. A, approval for payment of an invoice submitted by Schiffman Fournier for legal services retainer for October 1st, 2024 to December 31st, 2024, in the total amount of $18,000. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion?
The best money we could spend.
On lawyers.
That's right.
There we go. From our resident lawyer, always. Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns,
Yes.
Councilmember Ratner,
Yes.
Councilmember Edgar,
Yes.
Councilmember Whitehead,
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Next, 9B, approval for payment of invoices submitted by Garen Luco Miller, PC, for legal services in the amount of $16,861.33.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
We got to pay our lawyers.
Yeah. Yes. Says the lawyer. Okay. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Edgar,
Yes.
Councilmember Whitehead,
Yes.
Mayor McClellan,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns,
Yes.
Councilmember Ratner.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Motion carried, thank you. City Manager Eric Tungate.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of council. Before I invite Deputy City Manager of Community Services, Crystal Van Vleck up, I would like to say two things. One, I would like to welcome back Mayor Pro Tem Burns. It is so great to have you back up here with all of us. Welcome back. And I would also, I think we're saving the MML convention stuff till the end, so I'll save that. But Deputy City Manager Van Vleck, 10A1, please.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, City Manager. We have been working with our fellow Oakland County communities that share the 9 Mile corridor in Oakland County, specifically Hazel Park through Farmington Hills, along with the county to identify ways to collaborate with each other and connect the communities through a shared pathway along 9 Mile Road. Oakland County was awarded a planning and assistance program grant by SEMCOG to conduct a study along the 9 Mile corridor to identify placemaking opportunities, ways to improve safe and equitable transportation options, and ultimately to establish a cohesive corridor. The 9 Mile pathway feasibility study was completed in May of 2023 and will serve as a guide for pathway development through the corridor. A memorandum of understanding between the communities will solidify the commitment of each of us to coordinate and develop the trail through our community as proposed in the 9 Mile pathway feasibility study as they are able. So tonight I have for you with a recommendation to approve a memorandum of understanding with Oakland County for the 9 Mile pathway task force upon review and approval by our city attorney.
First, we need a motion and a second.
Some.
Second.
Thank you. Because we did such a remarkable job fixing up our 9 Mile road and won awards for it, the county thought it would be wonderful to extend the 9 Mile trail all the way through Oakland County so that eventually we'll be able to ride a bike all the way across Oakland County. And it's because of the innovation that we started on 9 Mile Road that this was a thing. Yes.
Madam Mayor, I just want to double that and say that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, and in this case, the rest of the county.
Right. Our staff did such a remarkable job with an innovative program on 9 Mile Road with parks and street narrowing and all of the things, the beautiful landscaping that we put in, that it's the model for the whole county. Bravo, staff. Any further comments?
I do have a question, Mayor.
Yes. Julie Edgar.
So how far along are we in planning for the pathway extension?
So as far as the task force goes, the feasibility study looked at Hazel Park to Farmington, but I should add they're actually adding the communities of South Lyon, Novi, all the way through 9 Mile through Oakland County. And so they're going to also be having a feasibility study done and completed that would connect to ours. But the feasibility study itself is done. So that gives us a conceptual plan, us along with the other communities. So I think as you're referring, we have done our eastern portion of 9 Mile. The western portion of 9 Mile, though, has not been touched yet. And I know we have some plans in the works, but the study itself, as far as the task force goes, that's done, and it really just sets a guide for all of the communities to enter into grants together, to try to receive any form of funding. It really gives us a leg up and provides some weight for us in any of those applications, for us to make those improvements together. Additionally, the county actually provided us funding to brand the corridor. So the task force itself is working together with an agency to help create a cohesive brand for the corridor. So that's another aspect of it. But our plans with 9 Mile itself are still in the works. I don't know if city manager wants to add to that, but we're working on how we can expand that on western 9 Mile Road.
Because for us, that would just be from Coolidge to Greenfield, right?
Correct, yep, yes.
And so 9 Mile runs, is South Lyon the westernmost?
I believe so, because that's where it turns into Livingston,
Okay.
Livingston County, yes.
And what's the eastern?
Hazel Park.
Hazel Park.
Yeah, so Hazel Park was a part of the original, but it ended in Farmington Hills. And so now it's being extended.
And I spoke to the Farmington Hills mayor, who is real excited about doing their part in Farmington Hills. If you're applying for grants, the grant donors like it when communities work together. They don't want just an Oak Park grant or a Ferndale grant. They'd like a partnership grant between the cities to encourage us to work together. And we have done that beautifully, over and over again. So proud of us.
Madam Mayor, can I also just say one more thing?
Yes.
I also just wanted to pay kudos to Oakland County for, taking the initiative to get all of these communities together, because it would have been easy enough not to, and we would have just gone on our own way. And what a tremendous job in organizing this they did. So kudos to them, too.
Wonderful.
Have other cities signed on?
Yes, as far as I know, we're all in the works of getting the memorandum of understanding together for all the communities. So everyone has given at least a preliminary yes and reviewed it. It is to note that the MOU is really not binding in any way. It's kind of just a commitment from all of us that we're going to utilize the feasibility study as our guideline going forward.
Do we need other communities buy-in, communities along 9 Mile? I see we've got Farmington Hills, but what about South Lyon and those outlying?
Yeah, so we did it the eastern portion first because it made the most sense as to our infrastructure. So everyone from Hazel Park, Ferndale, ourselves, Southfield, Farmington, and Farmington Hills are all in this first phase of the study, and they're all signing on for this. Some of them have passed this MOU already. It's just the timing of our council meetings, and some of them we're just waiting, but we don't anticipate anyone to not sign on to it. And then that second portion of the study, they garnered interest, South Lyon, Novi. They were interested in also seeing that done in their own communities, and however that looked for them. And so they're working on kind of what we've already done, that phase one of the feasibility portion of it. They're working on that right now.
City Manager Eric Tungay.
So, Crystal, one other thing I was hoping you could comment on, just for clarity. So when and if from this phase, of course, this is just a structure to work together, but from this phase, should we get to a point where there's, actual things happening, how do you foresee those those will be brought back to City Council, but in what form do you see those coming back?
For us personally, that would look like funding mechanisms to continue our 9 Mile road. And so what makes the most sense for us, whether it's a widened pathway, bike lanes, road diet on the west side. So internally, we're taking a look at that, and also the funding mechanisms for that. For instance, working with the city of Southfield, because they're on that western border with us.
Would you see that being like an interlocal agreement or operating agreement or both? Or
I think as far as the agreements go, this would probably be it. The only additional thing is when we enter into grants with another community, there's usually some sort of agreement in place to administer the grant together.
It
Yes.
seems like we're already most of the way there, right?
Yeah.
So
For
as long
us,
as we don't
another-
end up paying for other communities, it's fine, because we don't have that much section left, really.
Yeah, as far as money that would come from us, it's really just for the improvements that take place within our boundaries. So on the eastern side of 9 Mile, the additional things that could look like would be like the branding elements. That when there's a brand established, if we decide to put certain elements within the 9 Mile corridor that reflect that brand, whether it's additional wayfinding signage, whatever that is, that would be the additional funding that we would see. There's no monetary commitment attached to this memorandum of understanding today.
Very exciting. Very exciting. Are we ready to vote? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Whitehead,
Yes.
Councilmember Edgar,
Yes.
Councilmember Ratner,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns,
yes,
Mayor McClellan.
Yes,
Motion carried.
thank you.
Okay, we have item 10B1. We have our Finance Director, Sandra Crawford, back. Sandra, welcome back.
Thank you.
And please accept the city's condolences on the loss of your mother.
Thank you.
Our hearts are with you and your family.
I appreciate you.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, City Council, City Manager Tungate. Item 10B1, before you, the subject matter is a resolution authorizing the city assessor to prepare special assessment rolls assessing unpaid charges together with a 10% penalty on private property for delinquent utilities totaling $254,261.38, for false alarms, $2,530, for miscellaneous concrete replacement, $9,680.83, property blight, $28,225.47, and sidewalk replacement, $606.78. The Deputy Treasurer has submitted a list of properties that have outstanding charges for delinquent utilities, false alarms, miscellaneous concrete replacement, property blight, and sidewalk replacement, and is requesting that the city assessor be authorized and directed to prepare special assessment rolls assessing unpaid charges together with a penalty of 10% to the real property tax roll. The recommended action is to adopt the attached resolution authorizing and directing the city assessor to prepare the special assessment roll.
Okay, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. Thank you. Discussion or questions? Okay, roll call then, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns,
Yes.
Councilmember Ratner,
Yes.
Councilmember Edgar,
Yes.
Councilmember Whitehead,
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you.
Okay, and we have
Ten-
item 10B2. Finance Director, Sandra Crawford, please.
Yes. This subject matter is a resolution receiving the special assessment rolls and establishing October 7th, 2024 as the date for the public hearing on the rolls for unpaid charges of city expenses incurred on private premises for the delinquent utilities, number 716, false alarms, number 717, miscellaneous concrete replacement, number 718, property blight, number 719, and sidewalk replacement 720. At the same meeting, City Council received a list of unpaid charges that were incurred on private premises, prepared by the Deputy Treasurer and concurred by myself, the Finance Director, and directed that special assessment rolls be prepared. So the recommended action is to adopt the special assessment resolution number 8, which is attached, receiving the special assessment rolls 716, 717, 718, 719, and 720, and establishing October 7, 2024 as the date of the public hearing on the rolls of unpaid charges for expenses incurred on private premises.
Okay, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion? Just if you object to this charge, what are some of the ways that they can contact the city?
Well, they can, at that public hearing, they can come in and they can either fill out one of those cards, and usually we have staff out in the corridor depending on which charge that they're disputing, and then we will have staff research it. Usually what will happen at that meeting is that we'll ask that you guys remove them from the roll for it to be researched, and then we will come back that following meeting and say what our findings were. What do we say to, remove it permanently or put it back on the roll with the penalty of 10% because, they were city costs incurred. on their private premises. But that would be the main thing. But I mean, they can start as early now as when they get the cards to come in and talk with staff or call and talk with staff before the public hearing as well.
What's a good number for them to call?
It would depend on the different departments, and I don't have every
Okay,
department
got
right
it.
in front of me for
Got
the
it.
phone numbers. But for miscellaneous
Check your
concrete.
city calendar?
Yeah, 'cause-
For,
Because I'm sure the miscellaneous concrete, property blight, and sidewalk replacement would be the municipal services department.
services.
And then the delinquent utilities would be our water department. And then the false alarms would be the public safety
Public safety.
department.
Madam Mayor,
Very good.
if people have questions, they can contact our Resident Services Coordinator, Tim Jahorsky, too, who will guide them.
Yes.
and, do we have that number?
No, I have a question.
Yes.
Weren't they sent some correspondence, the individuals, were they sent correspondence to inform them of the charges?
Well, when they got the bills, they would have. These are all delinquent bills,
Okay.
and these bills are anywhere from 6 months to a year old. So they would have gotten the bill for these items. And then they could always, at that time, go right to the department and protest or, try to find some type of resolution as well.
Okay.
Any other questions? Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mayor McClellan,
Yes.
Councilmember Whitehead,
Yes.
Councilmember Edgar,
Yes.
Councilmember Ratner,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Byrne.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you, Director Crawford. 10C1, Deputy City Manager of Public Services and DPW, David DeCoster, please.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, City Manager Tungate. Before you tonight is a request to award the bid for the 2024 camera upgrade project to Interstate Security. At the November 20th, 2023 regular City Council meeting, the request to bid the 2024 camera upgrade project was approved. The project was advertised and 124 contractors viewed the documents. On September 9th, 2024, 5 bids were received and opened. The low bidder, Interstate Security of Shelby Township, Michigan, submitted a low bid of $138,523 for the replacement and installation of new security cameras on city properties. The vast majority of the cameras in our system are 10-plus years old and have reached their useful life. The city has worked with Interstate Security in the past and is comfortable with their work. It is recommended the City Council award the bid for the 2024 camera upgrade project to Interstate Security of Shelby Township, Michigan, for the total amount of $138,523. It is further recommended that a budget amendment for the same amount be approved from the general fund balance to cover these costs.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. City always accepts the low bid unless there's some,
I wouldn't say we always accept a low bid. We accept the lowest qualified bidder. So we
Lowest
do our due
qualified
diligence.
bid.
When the bids come in, we will investigate and we will award it to the lowest qualified bidder.
got it. Thank you. That's to
Mayor?
save the city money, but to still get good work. Councilmember Edgar.
Could you just tell us where these cameras are? Where do they go?
So there's multiple cameras in this room. There's one right above you. There's one on this side of the room as well. These are mainly security cameras that were installed when this particular building and public safety was built back in 2013. We do have some cameras at our community center and library. And we are actually adding, I think part of this program, we're adding about 15 cameras as well. We saw a need to add some cameras on the exterior, interior, and interior of some of these buildings. So for the most part, it's the replacement of these 10-year-old cameras all throughout the complex, but we are adding some new cameras to this project as well. And in addition, I should say, the vast cost of this contract is really server and software upgrades. So it's, you must store the data. We're changing the way, our IT department is changing the way we're storing some of the data in different parts of the city. So some of this is server upgrades as well.
Madam Mayor, may I ask a question?
Yes.
If you don't know, that's fine, but do you know exactly how many cameras are going to be allocated to the library, or?
I believe we are, don't quote me on this. I believe there's 3 on the exterior, an upgrade of one of the exterior, one fisheye camera in the middle of the library, and I believe 3 others?
I think 2 others.
2 others?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe total there's five new and 1 upgrade.
And if you believe that that's sufficient in your professional opinion for the library, that
Yeah.
amount of cameras?
So far in this case, we did have public safety go over there, provide some input on cameras. I think you could probably, I mean, in any building, you could add a number of different cameras. I am certainly no security expert, but we did the best. We looked at our budget, did the best to try and get as most coverage as possible. Like we said, we did a little bit on the outside as well on the inside.
And 15 were added.
I'm sorry?
You added 15 more cameras.
15 total citywide.
Yeah.
So at DPW, we don't have any. We added a couple in our yard. We wanted to upgrade some of the near our election drop boxes. We've done that. We added some at some other buildings as well. So the library is just one of those buildings.
Wise. Did we get a vote?
Councilmember Egger,
Yes.
Councilmember Whitehead,
Yes.
Mayor McClellan,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns,
Yes.
Councilmember Ratner.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Council members, before I turn it back over, I just wanted to acknowledge for the members of our public, you may have heard that the staff and I and the mayor attended the Michigan Municipal League Annual Convention this past week. And Oak Park was one of 4 finalists for what is called the Community Excellence Award, which is a very prestigious award that is given to a project in a city in the state of Michigan every single year. And we were acknowledged for the 9-mile redesign project. So the staff and I think there's going to be, there we go, there's us. This is at the Grand Hotel where this was presented. But the staff and I worked, and the mayor worked tirelessly to promote the city of Oak Park. There's our booth. Don't look at that creepy painting behind our booth, but there it is. And, you know, we were not victorious. The city of Houghton, Michigan, in the Upper Peninsula won with their lakefront redevelopment project. But I have to say that the experience was tremendous for the city of Oak Park. And there's Dave dressed up as Okie the squirrel. By the way, one of the things that was the most magnetic was the fact that we had a city mascot. And for those of you who don't know, we have a Okie the squirrel as our city mascot. Many cities don't have a city mascot, so I think a lot of them are going to go back and create one. But there's Okie in the main lobby of the Grand Hotel. Color-coordinated T-shirts. There's us the last day on our way out. And we also had the first booth in the area there, so it really brought attention to Oak Park. And I just want to say how, even though we didn't win, I'm so proud of the effort that we as a city put into this. And I'm exhausted, I can tell you that. I know everybody else is. But we did our city proud, and the future is so bright for Oak Park, despite the fact that we didn't take the title.
But
Thank
we
you.
got the idea out to the state of Michigan. We spread the idea. A lot of cities talked to us and said they loved the idea and they could see using it in their city. And we were helping other cities that were interested in ways that they can extend this idea. It doesn't take anything away from us. If other people copy our idea, it just makes the state better. So altogether, it was a win for the city of Oak Park. So many people came up to us and said, we just love your project, we're voting for you, and lots of positives came out of this. And we became known in the state of Michigan, which is a win by itself. There is a film. Are we going to show that film?
I think it was on our social media pages, but I don't, it's too much. I think there's 7 minutes is too much, so we're not going to show it here, I don't believe.
Maybe
Unless-
next time.
Am I wrong? Oh.
They can show it.
Yes.
Oh, all right.
Yes.
I'm wrong.
Absolutely.
We got 7
And
minutes, right?
just a note, Director Crawford is the narrator of this film, our director.
Founded in 1945, Oak Park is a great place to live. Known for our tight-knit community, tree-lined streets, and proximity to downtown Detroit, we have and hold dear a rich history of community, diversity, and connectedness. Rapid growth, overbuilt infrastructure, father time, and economic hardship hung heavy on some of Oak Park's signature infrastructure. And by 2015, 9 Mile Road was one of the worst to be found.
9 Mile was definitely not much desired at the time.
Seeing the need, but lacking the funds, city staff applied and were awarded a Center for New Urbanism project for Public Places grant, enabling the city to bring in planning expertise to begin to shape the community's vision for Oak Park's future that included a vibrant 9 Mile. The city set out to test and ensure real-world community support by everyday Oak Park residents.
We had a week's worth of charrettes with community members, asking them what they wanted to see out of 9 Mile. In addition, in 2017, we held a pilot pop-up park in Sherman. Turns out residents really wanted to see that done permanently.
Creates a really unique draw along the corridor and also adds, a little bit of whimsy, a little bit of really cool placemaking that we think could really serve as a model for other communities in Oakland County.
We wanted to make sure that in one of our most challenged areas of the city that we could have a public amenity that was directly tied to it and people could access through the connector park into their neighborhood.
Collaboration and progressive grant seeking began to make this vision a reality across jurisdictional boundaries.
We had an opportunity to apply for a federal planning grant, and that ultimately we got it. And we got that because of partnerships. We all went at it together, we all got it. And the goal of that is to create safer, more interconnected streets between the jurisdictions.
We are inspired by what the city of Oak Park has done to transform 9 Mile.
Previously, 9 Mile was just a road that people passed through to get from point A to point B. We wanted to reimagine it and create a space that encouraged people to visit, invest in.
Lane shrinking design with the linear park and the pocket parks. Really, it's just the 9 Mile redesign is what brought us here.
As the mayor, I cannot tell you how proud I am of all of these developments that are happening in Oak Park. It took a long time to get the momentum going, and it felt like nothing was happening when we were busy planning.
Momentum around the 9 Mile project was growing exponentially, but unfortunately, available funds were not. City leaders once again put their heads together to find solutions and keep tangible progress on track.
More than just, hey, there's this little piece of land, there's a strategy involved, there's a, I think vision.
In response, the city launched a patronicity crowdfunding campaign through the Public Spaces Community Places program and raised more than $50,000 from local stakeholders. Additionally, the city applied and was awarded a $100,000 grant from the Department of Natural Resources to help fund construction of the connector park.
Really what set 9 Mile apart, it's so unique, yet at the same time it's something that's replicable, especially for urban areas where there's not a lot of opportunities for parks and open space, along with the connection that you were able to show to economic development and placemaking in your community. And that was just what wowed, honestly, our elected officials.
The largely transformed corridor was drawing attention and resident use.
I'm amazed, astounded.
To invest in Oak Park and build my business here.
Go to the linear park to visit the different attractions off of 9 Mile in Oak Park. So it really does serve as a fantastic example of what is possible.
In our last project, we also added the protective cycle track that I'm standing on. That protects the bike lanes from the motoring traffic.
Our signaled intersections, and we looked to see where people were actually crossing the road illegally and added median crosswalks there so that it would be safer for our residents.
We knew that this was a corridor that the city was focused on transit-oriented development.
By 2023, the realization of the 9 Mile redesign, a complete corridor transformation, could really be seen, experienced, and was even beginning to be replicated.
Really epitomizes quality community planning, and it demonstrates the value that professional planners and the leaders in city management, the City Planning Commission, and the elected leaders, how together we create high-quality communities that attract talent, attract residents, and attract business investment.
To get out in the community and see what is actually happening with your own eyes.
Oak Park leaders say they hope to work cooperatively across communities to generate more interest.
I mean, the changes are tenfold.
The 9-mile redesign was once just a vision, but with some time and a whole lot of hard work, it's now become a reality. It is a complete corridor transformation here in the city of Oak Park.
Bravo, City Manager Tungate and staff for a winning project and a game changer for our city. Exciting. Next, we have call to the audience.
Okay.
Would you like to read the? Yep.
Each speaker's remarks are a matter of public record. The speaker alone is responsible for his or her comments, and the City of Oak Park does not, by permitting such remarks, support, endorse, or accept the content thereof as being true or accurate. Any person, while being heard at a city council meeting, may be called to order by the chair or any council member for failure to be germane for the business of the city, vulgarity or personal attacks on persons or institutions. Also, there is a 3-minute time limit per speaker.
Thank you. Do we have any speakers?
Yes, we have two. The first is Ken Sherman.
Good evening, Ken Sherman on Jerome Street in Oak Park. Nice to see the Mayor Pro Tem back. Welcome back. And it was also nice to be a patronicity contributor to the 9-mile project and also to be part of yesterday morning's cleanup of the 9-mile as part of the Recycling and Environmental Board. We had a fine time. We had about 20 volunteers in a 2-hour period to do a cleanup of the 9-mile linear area. My main topic is that the Metro Times back on August the 29th of 2024 did a ranking of the best and worst Detroit area Kroger stores, and they compiled information from Yelp, Google reviews, and their own experience to rank a selection of local Kroger stores from best to worst, taking into consideration things like food selection, length of lines, appearance, and overall vibes. So, of the 20 Kroger stores in the area, the highest ranking Kroger store was the one in Troy, the Troy Kroger store. The one on the bottom, the 20th, or the worst Kroger store, unfortunately, is here in Oak Park. What they said was, this Kroger is just the worst according to Yelp reviews. The staff and fellow shoppers are rude. Sometimes there's barely any cashiers, and it has been described as nightmarish. 0 out of 10 would not recommend. So I think, we're here trying to give a positive spin on the doings in Oak Park, and I really think it behooves the city to maybe sit down with the folks from Kroger to see what's going on so we can kind of get our city Kroger up in the rankings. I mean, I'm not taking this at face value, but obviously there was enough negative reviews for them to put us down on the bottom of the list. And I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but I just wanted to bring this to your attention. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Next, I have Shamar Wilder.
Good evening, City Council, mayors, constituents, I guess. My name is Shamar Wilder. I have been a resident, I was a resident of Oak Park for pretty much my entire life. Up until about 9 years ago, I moved into the city of Detroit. I want to say roughly about, maybe about a month ago, I had an annual fish fry that I have every year in the city of Oak Park, always have. And there was an issue that happened with a park ranger that I decided not to go into. But what struck me the most was when the mayor reached out to me personally and said, "Hey, let's have a conversation and let's talk about this." And it really struck me to the core, to the point that I've decided to return back into Oak Park as a resident. So I'll be moving back into Oak Park with my family. I just wanted to introduce myself to you all because I think you guys will be seeing a lot of me. I consider myself to be a member of the community, boots on the ground. I'm some of everywhere. I know everything about this city. Even in the cracks and the crevices, the things that you all may not even know, I know about it. I'm there. So you will see a lot of me. I just wanted to make sure that I introduce myself to you all, and I intend on seeing more of you in the future. Again, my name is Shamar Wilder. Oh, sidebar, I think you guys are doing an amazing job. I came to the last city council meeting just so that I can learn about just the mechanics of how a city moves, and I was thoroughly impressed, and I still am. So I intend on seeing more of you. I've done a bit of back studying of you all just on my own time. Sean Whitehead, I look forward to meeting with you, just talking to you, just learning more about you, and everyone else, of course. Lastly, I just want to make a quick comment about the camera replacements. I think you guys should also take note that there are a lot of opportunities in e-waste, so recycling. So when you guys get rid of those old cameras, try to see what you can get back as a return on those. So I've been working in IT for 15 years. So that's just something I want you guys to keep in mind as well. All right? Thank you, and I hope you guys have a great evening.
This time stay here.
Thank you.
Yeah, say again?
Yeah.
This time stay here.
I am. Yeah, that's the plan. Yep, for sure.
And we've already rooked him into volunteering for Juneteenth.
Absolutely.
Anyone else? No anymore. Just, I was so proud of our city in presenting to all of the cities in the state of Michigan what we've accomplished and how we've changed the trajectory of the city thanks to our insightful, competent city manager and staff, and just the spirit that's going in the city. People sat down with us and said it's just a rare thing to have everybody on the same page and rowing in the same direction. And we are just at a blessed moment in the city of Oak Park, and the best is yet to come. This is a celebration night because we are so glad to have Mayor Pro Tem Carolyn Burns back at a city council meeting and feeling better and walking around, and we're just couldn't be more delighted to have her back. She is a treasured member of city council, and we're glad she's on her way to recovery.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's the Mayor Pro Tem.
Oh.
Is your thing on? Yeah, there you go.
I'm extremely glad to be back and active on the city council. I've been out for a few months, but know this, I am going to get better and get up to speed with everything that's going on in the city. Thank everyone for their prayers and wishes. It's greatly appreciated.
Thank you. Councilmember Radner.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just wanted to also welcome back Carolyn. It's great to have you back here. I really wish you a continued and complete speedy recovery. Hopefully we can continue to serve the residents of Oak Park together for a long time.
Amen.
You're a great speaker. I know that you want to talk to Sean afterwards. I'd love to talk to you as well.
Yeah.
And Ken, I got to tell you, I've been to this Kroger many times. I love it there. I don't know who was in this, who was leaving Yelp reviews and Google reviews, and I know it's not you, But as you were saying it, I was kind of hoping you were going to say, and Oak Park was towards the top, so congratulations.
Yeah.
But obviously, that's not what was said. I don't know what the issues were. I've been there many times. I like going there. I think they're great. But I don't know anything else.
Councilmember
Thank you.
Edgar, thank you.
I'm not going to weigh in on the Kroger. Anyway, thank you for coming, and I also wanted to welcome back Mayor Pro Tem Burns. Very happy to see you.
They came to see me at the hospital, the mayor and Julie.
Wishing you, of course, a speedy recovery. We'll go out for ice cream soon.
Yeah.
Lots of ice cream. I wanted to, we talk about 9 Mile. I don't know the facts of what happened with the fire last week, but a shop along 9 Mile, a really nice shop called Wealthy, is completely gutted by fire, and the game store next to it was also damaged. City Manager Tungate, maybe you have some more details about that, but here are business people who located in Oak Park. They're pioneers because we're still, the corridor is moving, but it's slow. And it's just it's tragic that this happened. And I'm wishing the owners of these stores lots of goodwill, and I hope they get back on their feet. Secondly, Berkeley City Council, at its meeting tonight, there are going to be lots of residents talking about the need for an ordinance to prevent gun shops from locating near schools. A store along Coolidge was going to rent the space to a gun shop, and when residents found out, and this is maybe, I don't know, maybe 500 feet from Berkeley High School, maybe not. There's a church nearby. Anyway, Representative Natalie Price suggested that we also consider looking at an ordinance that would prohibit gun shops from locating maybe within 1,000 feet of schools and religious institutions, and I think it's something we should definitely consider. So, anyway, thank you and good night.
Sounds good. Councilmember Whitehead.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Going to echo the rest of council. It's so good to have you back, Mayor Pro Tem, and wishing you a speedy recovery on everything. The ACDC, the Arts Cultural Diversity Commission, hosted its 4th annual film festival this past September, or this month in September. It was really good. It's a good turnout, good movies. We had a panel discussion. Councilwoman Egger was there as well, asking great questions to our panelists. So the film festival was awesome. Can't wait for it to come back next year. I'm looking forward to speaking to you, Mr. Wilder. I believe that's what you said your name was. And then I just did some quick research. There's over 280 cities, 530 municipalities in Michigan, and we finished in the Final Four. So if you ask me, we won. So
Amen.
With
Amen.
With that, everybody have a good night.
Bravo. Feeling really good. There being no further business to come before this council, this meeting is adjourned.